Hello guys and welcome to another video. Now I recently picked up this Dell T1650 for £75. Really good deal. So today we're going to do a low budget system. Actually I like doing low budget systems. So this was £75. We're going to put an SSD in here because that's the speed of the operating system. And I've also got in this package, it actually came like this as well, believe it or not, a GTX 1050, 2GB. So this was a tenner. The case, the actual PC was 75, and this GPU I actually got for £45. So this PC, in everything, all in, is going to be £130, which is going to play low settings, and for the average person that's going to be plenty at this price point. I know a lot of people want to get into gaming these days but don't have the funds, so this is me showing you other ways to actually do that. So let's get into it. So let's talk specs. The power supply is an 80 plus gold certified PSU, which is 320 watts. That's going to be absolutely perfect for this sort of build. We've got 16 gigs of Samsung DDR3 memory at 1600 megahertz. Perfect. The CPU is Xeon 1240 version 2, which is 4-core 8 thread. Again, for lower settings this is going to be fine. We're not going to see no bottlenecks on the 1052 gig anyway, so that's a really good processor for the price. We have got a Quadro 600 we're going to be taking out because that's, that's not going to do a gaming. We have got two 500GB hard drives, but we are going to be taking one of these out to make room for the SSD because we need this SATA power cable right here. So let's get to it, guys. Alright, and there we have it, guys. So quite a simple upgrade really. The GTX 1050 2GB does not need external power, and it's only going to consume 75 watts at the most from the PCI lane, so that's absolutely fine. The SSD doesn't have any sort of like mounting holes on this case, so all I've done is attach one screw. One screw I know, but it is quite stable in there. Yeah, with these sort of PCs you have to make compromises, and I know that's sturdy enough to hold that by one screw, and it's all connected just fine, so that's fine with me. Like I say, £130, and we're going to be able to play games in lower settings at this price point. So let's get Windows 10 on this thing, and I'll see you at the desk, guys. And we're at the desk, and we've got Windows 10 Pro installed. Now, this does have a Windows 7 key on the side, so we've used that on installation, which is also gives a free copy of Windows 10 Pro. What can you say for £130, guys? Excellent. So what we're going to do now, guys, with this, I think this is going to do okay in low settings. 1080p, low settings, everything. So yeah, let's get to the games. Let's go. Let's do this. Here we have Fortnite, as this is quite a popular game in low-end hardware PCs, and we're getting over 100 FPS in Fortnite. Low settings, 1080p, all these games will be tested, like I said before. And like I say, I don't think I ever saw Fortnite go below 120 FPS. So going to be a very good playable experience on this PC. Here we have Battlefield 5, and even though we were getting 60 FPS now and again, we did hover around the high 50s majority of the time. And like I say, this also ran very smooth as well. I could play at this FPS. It felt very smooth. Unless you had a frame rate monitor, you wouldn't even know you were running just below 60 FPS anyway, and it ran very well. Here we have Doom, and like I said in a couple of videos, this thing will pretty much run on a potato. But in low settings, we're getting well above 60 FPS. It's a fast-paced game, and I like to use this in tests with low-end gaming PCs, and also PCs that can also do ultra in this game. But in low settings, 1080p, we maintained higher than 60 FPS all the time, so very, very playable. Here we have Far Cry New Dawn, and I run the in-game benchmark in low settings, of course, and we actually averaged an FPS of 52 FPS. To say this is a 2019 game running on an 8-year-old processor and a GTX 1052 gig, this is very, very impressive. We're slightly over on the VRAM at the end of this test, but it did pretty well, and I would also class this as very playable as well. Next up, we have Gears of War 5, and I was very, very impressed at this point. Most of the time in Gears of War 5, we were maintaining an average of above 60 FPS, and this is a 2019 game. And this, even in low settings, this looks pretty darn sweet graphic-wise. The experience in Gears of War 5 again was very, very, very playable. I couldn't even hardly tell I was running on a £130 gaming PC, and I actually enjoyed playing this for quite some time before I actually switched to the next game. So yeah, if you're running on this hardware, Gears of War 5 is going to run absolutely beautifully and fantastic. I also ran GTA 5 because this is a popular game still, even for its time. And we were maintaining above 100 FPS at all times. So if you got this cheap PC, the T1650, and did the sort of thing that I did right here, you're going to be able to play Fortnite and GTA at above 100 FPS at all times. Like I say again, this was a very playable experience, and I also enjoy playing it on this computer. Now, although this PC did run the Outer Worlds, we're dipping into the 40 FPS quite a lot. So we're actually going into like a console experience. I know console experience is around 30 FPS, but we're getting quite a few frame drops. So like I say, if you're running this sort of hardware, I would recommend turning things down to 720p, just to maintain them frames just underneath or above 60 FPS. But if you don't mind a bit of frame drops here and there, 1080p is achievable around the 40 to 55 FPS mark, and it will play just fine. And I also ran Borderlands 3. Similar to the Outer Worlds, we're getting quite a lot of frame drops. Like I say, if you turn that down to 720p, you're not going to see them frame drops as much. But we were hovering around the low 50s area most of the time, which was playable, but you did feel the frame drops now and again. But if that doesn't bother you, you could still have a pretty good experience. And let's just remember, guys, this is a £130 gaming computer, and you know we actually got a lot more than what I expected out of this PC. I am very impressed with this PC. You can pretty much do everything for the price tag, 2019 wise. And let's have a look at the Cinebench score. So in Cinebench, we were only actually 6 points away from the i7 3770. So it was very, very, very impressive. This CPU just does hold up even for 8 years of its age, and very, very impressive. If you can pick one of these CPUs up for cheap, you're well on your way to make a cheap gaming PC. But I hope most of the time I see these at like £60, so you might want to get a good deal before you consider this CPU. I definitely need to be drinking something stronger with the numbers we just got, guys. Okay, joking aside, holy crap, this thing actually did pretty darn well. Low settings, yes I know, but you have to take into account we have only paid £130 for this machine. Low settings, we're seeing 1080p, Fortnite over 150 FPS in Fortnite. In AAA titles from 2019 between 50 and 60 FPS, sometimes even more in low settings, and holy crap, this thing actually did pretty darn well. If I were on a budget, I've said this a few times in a few of my videos now, holy crap, I would be happy with this. it does. It literally is £130, and it does everything that you'd actually want it to do. The average gamer is not too worried about ultra settings anyway. They just want to be playing above 60 FPS. But most of the people want to play 60 FPS at a low cost. And I can say, guys, if you can replicate what I've done with a T1650 from Dell, only thing I would recommend you do if you've got the budget is just try and get a 1050 Ti, because then it'll last you longer in terms of you've got 4 gigs of VRAM instead of the 2. But let me just say something to you guys. This Xeon E3 1240 version 2 is an 8-year-old processor, and we're never reaching 100% usage. I actually thought this CPU were going to bottleneck like crazy on the 2019 games. In Gears of War 5 we were getting above 60 FPS. Holy crap, 8 years and it's still playing games on a 1052 gig. Now if you replace the power supply in this thing, you can even put like a 970 in there, then you're playing medium to high settings on an 8-year-old CPU, which I have no doubt in my mind it would do it. So that's going to end it for this video, guys. £130 game computer. You know, can we give it a like? Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.